Money in the Bank is this Sunday, and it's time for another episode of Ring Awareness. Thank you guys for joining me. Adam Merrick here, bringing you what's the hats in wrestling right now. And joining me, we got some newbies to the Ring Awareness show. Give it up to Mossman.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Francisco.
What's going on, guys?
Guys, so glad to have you here for episode 14. Since you guys are very new to the podcast and haven't been on before, why don't we get to know you guys a little bit more as far as why you guys are here, why you guys are wrestling fans?
Sure. I guess everyone has like first memories
Right.
of everything, but I guess I remember I lived in Texas, and my dad made such a big deal about Andre the Giant fighting
really?
Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3.
Oh, okay.
And he cut out the newspaper clip and he put it in his toolbox. And I as a little kid, I was like, oh, I guess this is important. I thought because he made such a, oh, look, he actually body slammed him. You know, I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I'm like, yeah, he's huge. You know, how did he pick him up? And so that was pretty much it, because I thought it was really important. And then I remember my dad started working for the cable company, and we got WrestleMania 5.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he brought home these promotional buttons. And it had the mega powers colliding, and I thought it was awesome. It had flames behind the button, and I was like, oh, these are the two best guys. I'm like, oh, this is going to be amazing.
That was for Hogan versus Savage, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And so I was like freaking out, and I don't even remember really watching the matches, but I just thought it was super important.
Wow.
And then later on, I kind of lost touch with it a little bit, and then later on, like I don't know, maybe in the 90s, probably sometime in the 90s. Probably like 96, right before the whole Attitude Era and everything.
Okay.
I saw Shawn Michaels, and I just because I know people like Daniel Bryan, and they like Mankind, because he's kind of like everyone can relate to him. Like Mankind doesn't he doesn't have like the super body, and he's not like he's not real flashy.
Right.
He's more blood and guts and like hardcore, and like the everyday kind of guy can relate to him. When I saw Shawn Michaels, it was like the superhero complex kind of thing. I was like, oh, like I don't look like that, and girls don't like me, but I wanted to be him. I think it'd be so cool to be cocky and actually be able to back it up,
right?
So that's why I liked him so much, and I was
nice.
like, man, I wish I was like that,
Yeah.
I thought it was like super 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 cool, and just from there, I never really stopped from there, and I kind of became, I am kind of obsessed with Shawn Michaels. I have like 2 tattoos of Shawn Michaels.
Do you?
Not his face, but I just have HBK, and I have the same tattoo he has on his arm. But and that's my claim to fame. I'm sure you've heard me say it a couple of times on my Facebook that I went to WrestleMania 25 and 26.
Oh yeah.
So that makes me feel legitimized that I'm better than everybody as far as wrestling. As far as wrestling. Because I do, and that was so, I guess, like to me, like WrestleMania 12 when Shawn went up against Bret, I think that's like the best match ever.
Oh wow, the Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that whole. The story was awesome because it was pretty true. Shawn had worked so hard for everything, but just to see that pure wrestling for that whole hour, to keep it going for that long.
Right.
And there's not really, I can't really think right now of a messed up spot in that match.
Yeah,
I really can't.
I think you're right, man. I mean, that was that was the first Iron Man match in WWE history. It was very good, man. I actually saw that recently on the network, and I agree, man. So Shawn Michaels, all-time favorite, hands down.
Easily. And then since WrestleMania 12, I would say maybe WrestleMania 25, for me personally, has kind of gotten to that same level as 12 and 25 as his performances.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why it makes me feel like I'm awesome, because I saw it.
Those 2 WrestleManias were his Undertaker matches.
Yes, they were, and I never got to see Shawn Michaels win. I've only seen him wrestle 4 times. But I never got to see him win, but it really didn't matter, man. I got to see his last match.
That's awesome.
And then 25, that was amazing for me. So and me and my sister are big fans, and I've kind of you could say I've poisoned with my son with it, because that's all he talks about now.
Nice, that's awesome.
But he'll probably grow out of it. I didn't, so
yeah.
It's still awesome. So that's pretty much why I love wrestling.
So a lot of people bring it up, and I'm going to ask you, since you're such a big HBK fan, is do you think HBK will ever come out of retirement? A lot of people are saying, oh, he should wrestle Punk, he should wrestle Bryan. Do you ever see it happening?
I would love if he did, but no, I think he'll stay true to his word. The only way I see him doing it is if they asked him to for a favor, if they needed it. And then they have so many people on the roster. Right. They have so many people that want to come back. But I don't even think Triple H would ask him. They're buds. I don't think he would make the move to even ask. Something really bad would have to happen. Kind of like when WrestleMania 23, when Triple H was supposed to be there, and Shawn had to step in and wrestle Cena.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But he was part of the company then. He was part of DX.
Right.
And he's still part of the company now, but not on that wrestling platform. And there's so many guys that want spots and fight for spots. Something like crazy would have to happen to get him to have to ask him to do something.
Right, but none of them are HB Shizzle, I'll say.
There you go, that works.
Francisco, let's jump to you, buddy. Why are you a wrestling fan, man?
Well, I remember it was 1999 and I was in middle school. My friends would talk about, the Monday Night Wars, and I was like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Goldberg, NWO, DX, what are you guys talking about?
Right.
So my best friend finally told me to tune in to Monday Night Raw, and the date I specifically remember was January 4th, 1999.
Okay.
The reason why I remember that, because that was the night that Mick Foley as Mankind won the WWE title for the very first time.
Right, okay.
And I was just so amazed at these larger-than-life guys just performing things just like, wow. And storylines, it was like, again, it's a soap opera for guys.
Yeah, totally.
So it was just something I just loved, and since then I would switch back and forth between WCW and WWE to catch both of them to learn about these guys.
Yeah.
And I would rent VHSs of past WrestleManias and learn about Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and Warrior, Savage, Flair, and all these great legends.
And you actually have a leg up on some of us other fans. You've actually been in a ring. You have some training time under your belt. Why don't you go ahead and explain that? I know you were with Christian Wrestling Federation. You trained with them for a little bit. How was that experience?
It was just really... words cannot describe, really. What happened was my brother was getting married in Texas, and we went down for the wedding.
Okay.
He was getting married in Waco, and we were staying at my uncle's house in Rockwall, which is like northeast of Dallas, probably like the same distance of Albuquerque to Las Vegas, so just about the same distance. And as we were going to my uncle's house, we passed a bunch of warehouses, and I saw a sign that said Christian Wrestling Federation. And I was like, okay, what's this about? So I got on their website. You can go to it. It's called christianwrestling.com. And I just started reading upon it and learning what they're about. So I called the owner. His name is Rob Vaughn. He goes by the name Jesus Freak. I know it's an interesting title for a name.
It's an interesting name.
I called him and I scheduled an interview with him, and I went and talked to him. And basically what they do is they do put on wrestling shows like any other promotion, but they're a Christian ministry. They do preach the Bible. They offer the word of salvation. And what they'll do at the shows is they'll have one of the wrestlers come and give their testimony to the audience on just having a relationship with Jesus, and at the end they'll invite people to come and accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior. And again, it's there's no forcing upon it. There's no condemnation kind of message in it that if you don't accept Jesus, then you'll go to hell.
You get kicked out of the show.
Exactly. There was nothing like that.
It
was just
he was in a cult. No, I'm just kidding. I love Jesus.
It's just offering a different. It's what they call it. It's professional wrestling with a message.
Nice.
So I went, and he told me about the school that. It's a 10-month program that they have where you learn the basics, you learn everything from mat wrestling, high flying, just all that stuff. And I knew at that moment I wanted to be a part of it. So I started training, I started, working out. I have my friend who's a wrestling coach for a lot of schools. In fact, he was actually an assistant wrestling coach at New Mexico Hines University.
Oh, wow.
And Eddie Guerrero
went
and wrestled there.
That's cool.
So that really helped me there. And come the beginning of the year of 2012, I packed all my stuff and I moved to Texas and started training with them. And like Ryan Dean talked about on the last show, is that you just really need to listen to them, that you don't go with an attitude that, oh, I want to do high flying right away, that I've watched wrestling my whole life, so I can do this in my sleep.
Yeah.
You can't have that attitude, that mentality.
Right.
You gotta go there and listen to these guys because they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I've said that a lot. I think that's a lot of misconception about wrestling. You know, we watch it for so long, we're like, oh, look, I can easily take a stunner or give a stunner.
I don't make no claim to be a professional wrestler because that is something that you earn. That is a title that is earned, not given.
Right, you're totally right.
I am a student. I do offer my opinion to people, or if people come and, tell me that wrestling's fake, I just tell them straight up that until you step through those ropes and you try and do what these guys do, don't come and tell me how fake it is.
Boom. Tell them, Cisco.
I've been body slammed, I've been clotheslined, I've been whipped into the turnbuckle and having huge guys, and I mean huge guys, splash into me.
Yeah.
That makes you feel like your airbags deploy in front of you after a high impact.
Right.
So, like I said, I do have that experience, so...
Awesome, man. And that's something a lot of us wrestling fans don't have. But I respect you for doing that, man. That's huge. Let's jump to Money in the Bank, guys. This is why we're here.
Right.
I don't know about you guys, but this is one of my favorite shows of the year. After WrestleMania, after Royal Rumble, I just love ladder matches. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Ladder matches, I think, are just spectacular. Again, Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, they really set the bar for what the ladder match is supposed to be.
Do you agree with that, Moss?
Oh, of course. I mean, Shawn Michaels. I mean, that's the main thing. But even after that, with the Hardys and Christian and the Dudleys,
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
taking it to the next level. But I mean, of course, I'd say Shawn Michaels. Hasn't. It's funny because he hasn't been as many as others.
Right.
But he doesn't need to be. He's the king of ladder matches.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, they're all copying him. But that's the way I feel. But no, they took it to the next level, and they had to. I mean, that was kind of like kind of the tail end of the Attitude Era, 99, 2000.
Right.
The Hardys and the Dudleys and Edge and Christian. But no, I mean, they're always exciting. You're just waiting for maybe if you're a purist, like I said, WrestleMania 12, you want to see Shawn Michaels and Brett, do some mat wrestling.
Yeah.
But then you see those big old bumps, and you see those big spots, and you kind of get excited, and everyone cheers, and there's all those big pops, And
Yeah.
So that's why they're amazing.
Exactly.
Well, if you're trying to convert someone to be a wrestling fan, you probably want them to watch tomorrow.
Yeah.
That would get them to get interested.
I agree, man. This is that show, along with, like Royal Rumble, probably Elimination Chamber. Those are the shows that are really going to attract people to the product. And I think you hit the nail right on the head with that one. Money in the Bank is a can't-miss show. Let's run down the card. Let's make our predictions. Of course, we'll save the ladder matches for the end. One match that was just announced the other night was a rematch from last month. We got Big E taking on Rusev.
Ooh.
Moss, who you like in this one?
I mean, if I had to bet my life on it and say who was going to win, I would say Rusev would win because they're giving him such a big push.
Yeah.
I don't like him. I don't find it boring, but every time they go with the un-Americans or they stick with Canadians or they push their country, I don't really get into that that much. Hacksaw will come out and say USA. Hacksaw's awesome, but I don't. They do the country against country. I don't really get into that. But I mean, and Big E's kind of been on the on the downward spin since he lost the Intercontinental title.
Agreed.
So not that he's not. I mean, he's kind of cool to see for being such a big dude, all swollen like he is. I mean, he moves pretty good.
He does, yeah.
I kind of noticed that he was kind of getting hurt a lot when I can't remember exactly. He just apologized right into people, and I think he got a couple of stitches on his chin, and I think wasn't he the one that cut open Reigns' eye?
He might have been, yeah.
Yeah,
that sounds right.
And a couple people had bloody faces after they wrestled. Not that I don't know if he's unsafe or not, but I'm just saying that I don't really like his style of wrestling.
Okay.
I actually like his entrance more when he has the weightlifter chalk on his head and he slaps it.
Right.
That gets me pumped up. I really like that. But for me, it's a throwaway match. I really don't care who wins.
Yeah.
I think Rusev will win. I like seeing his manager more than I like seeing Rusev.
Lana.
Yeah. So I like that a whole lot more. Yeah, I don't mind listening to her talk. No, these guys, I hope not. I mean, I just kind of think it might be a clumsy match because these guys are so big.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not saying they're not professionals. They're better than me. They destroy me. They kill me. But I'm not really interested in seeing the match. But I would say Rusev would probably take it just since they're giving him such a huge push. And I really don't know why. They like big guys. But I'm like, why? There's so many people that you could push besides this dude. I'm not interested. Because they did it with, gosh, what was his name with the flat top and... He was Russian.
Vladimir Kozlov?
Yes, they did it with him too, and he kind of got over with me because I'm a mark. I'm easy to get. Like I almost like everything. And I think he fought Triple H a couple of times, and he kind of got over with me that he was just a jerk. And he was a bad guy, you know. He was a heel. He got over with me, and they kind of just dropped it, you know. And so I see that happening with Rusev. I see them just getting him over a little bit and then dropping it.
So you're saying he's gonna be teaming with Santino here in a few months?
Yeah, because that's what they did. They made him into a joke. Yeah, it was a joke, you know. So that's what I see it.
Right, Cisco. How do you feel about this match? Who you liking?
Me personally, I am for Big E Langston because, I mean, just the way he can do things for just being a big guy that he is. But again, Rusev has been on a major role. But again, I do agree with Moss about the whole, country character deal.
Not a fan.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's basically just going back to, Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik. But at least, thankfully, we're not hearing Rusev singing the Russian national anthem.
Yet.
But just, I mean, basically, I'm also seeing it kind of like how they did with, Muhammad Hassan back then in 2004.
Okay, yeah.
But just, thankfully, they're not going the route they did in the past with him.
I haven't enjoyed it. I'm sorry to cut in, but I haven't enjoyed it since Shawn Michaels, actually, since with Bret Hart and, disgracing the flag and putting up his nose. And I know, and that's kind of to the extreme. They don't really do that anymore. That's really disrespectful. A lot of people, I could see if I was Canadian, I'd get really upset. But when Shawn Michaels through the Canadian pulled it out of his tights and humped the flag, I thought that was awesome. But ever since then, maybe people don't want it. Shawn had a pretty solid spot at that time in the company. You can get away with that kind of stuff.
True.
So other people, if they were to go try to do that, they'd probably get fired or reprimanded or something. So
totally.
That's just why I don't enjoy it. But.
Well, I think mostly, again, because of, what happened with 9/11, that they want to show that they do support our country and our, brave men and women who are out there sacrificing their lives for our freedom. So I am going for a Big E.
Big E, wow. Dude, Rusev's undefeated. I got to go with Rusev, unfortunately. I'm kind of the same as Moss. I'm not sold on him. I like Lana better. We'll say that, and we'll continue on to the next match in the show, which is two of my favorite divas as far as looks-wise. We got Summer Rae taking on Layla. Fandango is the referee in this one. Cisco, quickly, who do you like in this one?
I'm honestly going for Summer Rae because she's starting to really show that she was more than just a pretty face, that she can wrestle.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's one of the better wrestling divas on the roster.
Compared to all the other divas who are the newcomers on Total Divas, like Eva Marie and stuff.
Let's not talk about Eva Marie.
I honestly feel Summer Rae is starting to really become her own person. So I'm honestly going for Summer Rae, but again with Fandango, whatever Jericho liked to call him back then. But I think it's honestly going to be kind of interesting to see how that goes with Fandango being the ref.
Yeah.
I expect it to be entertaining. I'm sure there'll be a spot in the match where they probably both roll over Fandango. Yeah, and he's freaking out. And it'll probably end up with him trying to decide, who am I going to help? Will I help Summer Rae or do something like that? But I think Layla's awesome. Whatever they hand her, she does awesome with it. I like Lay Cool a lot.
I did too.
So same here.
I'm not too much into the whole. Some people get a little saying, "Oh, they're just there for looks and stuff." Don't get me wrong; they are very beautiful, but they can wrestle. I mean, I'm sure plenty of them would beat me up, but which I wouldn't mind. But she's awesome. I think she has a lot of talent, and I'm looking forward to it as entertainment wise.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's probably be funny. And Fandango will probably have to choose. He'll probably get kissed a couple of times, and it'll be. But I predict Layla would probably win. I would think.
Layla?
Yeah. I think she will, because I don't know. Maybe it'll give a little. I don't know. I don't know who really is the fan favorite there. I guess Summer Rae. I guess it might give her a little push if she loses. People get behind her a little bit more. But you can go either way on that. But I'll go with Layla.
Really? I think Summer. I think they should go for a swerve, man. I think they should put Fandango back with Summer Rae. I love Layla. And I don't mind her being with Fandango, but I think Summer and Fandango had more. They just seemed like a better fit to me. Mm-hmm. And I think Layla is a better. I think WWE doesn't really have a lot of divas that are favored by the fans. I think the Bella Twins are shoved down our throats. I think Layla kind of can go either way. I prefer as a face myself, so I kind of hope Summer wins with the help of Fandango, and they move on to continuing what they were doing months ago when they were together. Let's jump to the next match. Goldust and his partner Stardust take on Rybaxel for like the 50th time on WWE television. This time it's on pay-per-view.
I'm excited actually, even though they have wrestled like a bazillion times. And we saw them at the house show.
Yeah, right, we did, right.
But he wasn't Stardust.
He was not.
It's pretty. He has, from what I've seen, and I've heard some people talk about seeing him at house shows as Stardust.
Okay.
It was like in New Jersey, I think recently he did. There was a house show there, and they said he was completely different. He was, it's a character. And if he's anything like his brother, they're gonna totally get immersed in that character. I'm really excited, waiting for the day when they bring their dad in. I want the American Dream to be painted up. I want to see all three of them together like that, being sick and disgusting and just doing all that. I really like Stardust, so I'm actually excited about it because
cool.
I think he's gonna do crazy things. I think I don't know if he'll go like kind of sexual the way his brother did in the past.
Yeah.
Because the whole it's PG. Yeah. So it's not like, in my opinion, Goldish. He could have had like a heel run as champion back in the day. People hated him. He did so many like with Ahmed Johnson. When he gave him mouth to mouth, people were like, "What's wrong with this guy? I hate this guy. He's a wrestler just because he wants to touch people, not because he wants to be champion or to win." So he could have been champion. I think they could go all three of them like that. The dad and the brothers. I'm not really into Rybaxel at all.
Shocker.
I like Ryback a lot. He had a lot of heat, and they kind of dropped it. I went to They did. It was him and Cena when Cena won the Royal Rumble. I don't know, what was it, 2012 or something. I went to that Rumble. Me, my son, and my sister, and it was cool. Like, my son was really going for Ryback. He bought the shirt and everything, and of course Cena won. And we were all kind of sad about it, but that's what I always feel. They get people like up there, they push them up there, and they kind of pull the floor out from under them.
Kind of same thing you're talking about with Kozlov.
Yeah, and I think they kind of maybe pull the floor out from under them and say, okay, now it's up to you to keep it there, to see if you can keep it there.
Yeah.
But everyone kind of needs that machine behind them to push them. But no, I would think Stardust and Goldust take this one because everyone's into it right now.
Right.
I definitely have to agree. I mean, the Stardust character, when I first saw it, I was like, really?
Yeah.
But just,
You didn't think it put new life into the team? I thought it put new life into the team. It is.
It's putting new life into Cody Rhodes himself, because now he's showing that he does, emulate his brother, and especially since everybody knows that, I guess, when Goldust was starting, Cody was still young, so they never really got to have that brother relationship that they really wanted to have. So
very true.
This really gives them a chance to really continue to build that bond. Now, as far as Rybaxel, Ryback again, just powerful guy, but again, everybody feels that he's just now a Goldberg ripoff.
I think he's better than Goldberg. I never liked Goldberg.
And Curtis Axel, I mean, come on, third generation superstar. You gotta know he has come a long way now that he has become his own person.
Mm-hmm.
So they are a great team, but again, I am going with Goldust and Stardust on this one.
I think Cody Rhodes is the most evolved wrestler since his debut. You see how many times he's changed his persona throughout his time in WWE. Of course, he started with
Hardcore Holly.
Yeah, Hardcore Holly. Then he went to Legacy with DiBiase and Orton. He did a whole mustache thing. He did a whole dashing. He did the thing with the mask. Now he's doing the Stardust thing
with Damien Sandow.
Yeah, dude.
He's versatile.
Very.
So he has come a long way again.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Cody Rhodes for sure, man. I wasn't really digging the Stardust thing, but
you don't want a Stardust action figure? I do. I can't wait.
Or just imagine.
I hope it builds to something. I think it's eventually just going to build to a Cody versus Goldust match.
That'd be nice.
But I hope they don't break him up just yet. I hope they let him run for a little bit and see what they can do, because I liked the first match that they had. Where he had a Stardust. It looked like he was doing some different moves. It looked like he wasn't doing his normal Cody Rhodes routine. So I'm a fan of. Now I'm a fan. I've always been a fan of Cody Rhodes, but Stardust, I'll say let's have him stick around for a little bit, see what happens. We also got a second Divas match on the show. Say what? We've got the Divas title on the line. Paige defending against Naomi.
I'm honestly going to go with Paige on this one. I mean, Naomi she has come a long way. Again, I'm honestly going with Paige on this one because Paige, she just has so much talent for being just 21 years old.
Right.
That is impressive right there. I mean, the way she does that Scorpion STF move, that is impressive.
Yeah,
right
I like
there.
it a lot.
So, again, I am going with Paige on this one. I think they're just trying to give the Funkadactyls a break from each other.
Thank God.
And really try and have them build up their own style of wrestling because, again, they do need some work.
Yeah.
I can't stand Paige.
Really?
I can't stand her.
No way.
That you're talking about her finisher. That's all the work of the other. That's the work of the opponent. Twisting up like that. She's not.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's the work of the opponent there. But with her, she comes out and she screams. That other divas have done that, and she comes out and she just screams for no reason during the match. It's really irritating. I think she's giving competition for Sheamus for how white she is. I'm not a fan.
Wow.
On any level, I kind of wonder why people like her when she beat. I know the whole point was to give her a huge push when she beat AJ.
Right.
Because AJ, had been champion. She was the female CM Punk.
Right,
and
right.
She had been champion forever. And when she won, I was like, that was lame. I thought I didn't like it at all. And it makes sense to me because they're trying to sell her to us, but I'm not gonna buy at all because what does she do? Like, tell me what she does that's special.
I like the crosslock. I know you're correct as far as it's her opponents doing it. I mean, she's lifted him up, but it just looks. I mean,
well, I believe
it looks awesome because of her opponent.
It does look awesome.
Well, I believe she actually got that move from what was her name, Bull Nako or something.
Nakano?
Yeah. So she actually learned that move from her.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I'm sold on Naomi though. She's the one with the impressive offense. She has all these butt cheek offense. I mean, it's sexualized, but she does it good. It's all clean moves. None of it's really botched. And
okay.
I mean, she looks good, and I think her moves are way more impressive. All her ass moves are way more impressive than this weirdo lock that the opponent does all the work. That's what I think. And I honestly, I don't think Naomi's gonna win. I don't think so. They're gonna let Paige win. They're breaking up the Funkadactyls, and
right.
I don't think Cameron. She's not. I don't know if she's ready. I think Naomi's ready. I don't know if she's ready, but she'll probably ruin it for Naomi. Come in and do a run in and cost her the match.
Exactly.
But I don't know if she'll survive after that.
I don't think Cameron was ready for life. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
There you go.
I don't want her in the company at all, man. I can't stand her. Dude, I'm totally surprised that you don't like Paige.
No, dude, but why? Why should I like? Just tell me why.
I think she's just a new face. I think that's the reason I'm behind her. I did see her matches on NXT. I don't know if you saw any of those. Mm-hmm. Her match against Emma at Arrival was really good. So I'm a fan of all the NXT girls, really. But I mean, you do have a good point, dude. I mean, they haven't really done too much. I think they've kind of dropped the ball with her as far as when she beat AJ. She didn't really do much after that. She's just kind of gotten her butt kicked in all of her matches since, and then she comes up and gets a real quick victory.
It wasn't last Monday, but it was the Monday before that when they were doing commentary, her and Cameron.
Yeah.
That was painful.
You didn't like it?
It wasn't good, man. I'm not saying that I could pull it off. I couldn't. I'd be nervous. I'd want to kill myself. But no, they weren't. They weren't doing a good job. It was. She's like, oh yeah, well I'll show you. Yeah. Once I get you in the ring, you'll see. Like that's horrible.
They constantly kept saying that I'll slap.
Yeah, and
the taste out of your mouth.
It wasn't. I think they did that on purpose. They didn't give them any scripted, any spots to say, and they just watched them fall on their face.
Right. To see what they would do. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm going with Paige, but you did bring up some interesting points, man. I've never thought about it. Just something to think about for the future, for sure.
Paige will win, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Tag titles are also defended. We've got the Usos going up against the Wyatt families, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Usos have been champs for quite a bit. Do you think this is the night that they lose the belts?
How long has it been?
I think it was just after the Elimination pay-per-view, so around end of February, early March.
For some reason, it seemed fresh to me, but...
No, I think it has been a bit longer, because, again, they beat the Outlaws.
Because I thought they beat the Outlaws at Elimination Chamber. Mm-mm. Oh, they didn't beat them at Elimination Chamber. They lost to them, but then they beat them, the next night or the following week on Raw.
I think it was, honestly... Yeah, it was before WrestleMania. I know
that
part.
Of course.
But, me personally, I think, the Usos, they are high energy, talented team.
Yeah.
But I mean, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, they're coming out on their own now, that they're not just being known as the guys who are behind Bray Wyatt.
They're gaining their own identity.
Yeah, so, and especially now that you got, Luke Harper talking a bit more now,
Right.
that they got the theme music, which was kind of creepy there, the instrumental to Whole World in His Hands. So,
Correct.
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, but honestly, I kind of see the Usos keeping the belts,
Okay.
in my honest opinion.
Okay.
I wish they would lose. I do see them keeping the belts, but I wish they would lose because I think they need that. They need to like stretch it out for a few pay-per-views, have them like switch back and forth a little bit. Because I remember that happening a lot. Even especially with the heavyweight championship. During the Attitude Era, it would switch so much. I'm
Right,
not saying
right.
to go like that far with it, but I think it'd be cool to see a fight between these two, like pulling tug of war with the titles back and forth. Because it's like a different kind of style. These guys are a little high-flying, fast-paced, and these guys are powerhouses, psychopaths. So it's really, really cool, and I like the new music. It's awesome. I like how they kind of separate them a little bit from their brother. They
Right.
can stand on their own, and they have a lot of heat. I don't think people really they see them as creepy. When the Usos come out, I mean that's an awesome entrance too. Like I get sold on entrances a lot. Like I'm pretty easy to like. That's why you should be surprised I hate Paige.
Yeah.
But like I like almost everything that the product that they do. But no, the Usos come out, they get everyone pumped. It's cool. I think they should play tug of war with the title, but I'm hoping for a clean sweep with the whole Wyatt family. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would say the Usos keep it.
Oh wow. I'm gonna go with the Wyatt family just because I kind of like your idea with them going back and forth with the titles. Hasn't been done in the tag division for quite a while. The last
Hope
time
you're right.
I really remember them doing it was during the Attitude Era with the whole Hardys and Dudleys and
Yeah.
DNC.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind it for the Wyatt family to win and hopefully be the first of 2 championship victories for the Wyatt clan
Exactly.
at Money in the Bank. We'll see. But let's get to the big matches, the 2 main events of this show. Money in the Bank, it's for a reason. The only Money in the Bank match that we have this year is featuring Kofi Kingston, Rob Van Dam, Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, Wade Barrett, Jack Swagger, and Seth Rollins in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So many talented guys in this match. Guys, who you feeling? Who's going to win this one?
Well, I mean, in this one, you got so many guys who have won the Money in the Bank ladder match. You got, RVD. You got
Swagger.
Swagger. You got Dolph Ziggler.
Right.
So those 3 are the vets going into this match and have the experience. But yeah, again, Kofi Kingston, he's always done just wow things with ladders. I personally liked it when he used them as, stilts.
That was cool.
Isn't that all he's become though? I mean, they don't really do much with him besides
Yeah,
that. Like
that-
he's kept on the roster for spots.
Exactly.
But
And it's
Spot
unfortunate. I like him.
I do too.
He's awesome, but
and then Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. I mean, these 2, it's going to be a brawl between those 2. They're going to be pounding the living daylights out of each other. But as far as my choice for it, I'm personally rooting for Dean Ambrose.
Okay.
Because I'm honestly seeing kind of like a taking Brian Pillman character in him.
Yeah.
That's
Back
nice, yeah.
when Brian Pillman was in the WWE.
Right.
So I kind of seen that kind of character in Dean Ambrose now.
Heck yeah.
real quick, do you guys know is Barrett still in it? Because
Yeah, that's the rumor, man. Barrett
Yeah.
has been injured. He was
Oh,
injured at the Tuesday Night SmackDown tapings, so no confirmation if he's out or not.
if they replace him, I want Sandow to replace
Sandow,
him.
really?
I know now he's become a joke. Now he's he's the joke comes out. I liked it when he was Magneto. But he's the joke now. I get it. I understand. But it really made me upset when he lost to Cena when he cashed in his Money in the Bank. I thought that was a
Right.
mistake. It was a good match too. I remember watching. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I thought it was really cool. And they didn't give him the push. It ruined it for me. But I hope if they do, I like Barrett too. But if they do replace him, I hope for Sandow.
Sure.
And I think you were exactly correct. Like Pillman or Piper is what Ambrose, kind of reminds me of a little bit. And
Yeah.
I want him to win. I really, really hope he wins that because I think it'd be. He needs that. He kind of needs that, I think, because he's an unpredictable character. Because you don't know what he's gonna do, and if you give him the Money in the Bank briefcase, he's more unpredictable. You know when he's gonna cash it in. When it's gonna be anytime this guy's off his rocker, he can cash it in anytime he wants. He'll probably do something weird with it.
Yeah.
So I really do want him to win. I think it's kind of easy though. Rob Van Dam's not gonna win. I think Swagger's not gonna win at all. Even though Triple H kind of threw a little shout out to Ziggler,
Right.
And said, you wanted him, here he is, Dolph Ziggler. Unfortunately, I think like Dolph Ziggler and Rob Van Dam and Swagger are all in the same boat. They kind of dropped the ball when they had the titles.
I agree. They did.
Rob Van Dam, didn't he get pulled over, then had to drop the title right away because drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
And then with the concussions with Ziggler.
Right.
And then I don't know exactly what happened with Swagger, but I kind of liked it when he feuded with Big Show a little bit, but I don't think anyone was into it.
Very forgettable title run for Jack Swagger.
Exactly. So I can say those three guys out right away. They're really out right away. And then Kofi, he's out because they don't. I mean, it's hard with his size. It's hard to like make that guy a champion. Being that size. And I mean, and Barrett being hurt now, so he's out.
Plus, he's our Intercontinental champion if he does remain in.
Exactly. So it's up to Rollins or Ambrose now, and I'm going for Ambrose.
I think you pretty much hit everything I was gonna say. Ambrose is my pick. Clean sweep for Ambrose here, guys. I think that there's money in Ambrose. Plus, I see him winning it, and eventually, when Reigns wins the belt, I see a cash in by Ambrose on his former brother, and maybe we get a Shield triple threat for the WWE title.
That would be a good one.
It'd be pretty cool. I don't mind. What's the other Shield member in the match?
Rollins.
Yes. Yeah. I don't. I mean, he's cool. He's awesome. I wouldn't mind him either. I mean, but it's pretty much up to those two, man. That's what it's gonna be. But I don't know. They're all so new, and I don't know if they want to like. That, well, I'll save it for the other ladder match, but
let's jump to that ladder match right now. This one, everybody says it's a Money in the Bank ladder match. It's not a Money in the Bank ladder match because it's for the WWE title.
True.
So it's just a regular ladder match. I hate how they've been like, oh, for the first time ever, a title's gonna be defended in a ladder match. That's not true because it's been defended in a ladder match before. Maybe they're saying that both the titles are a brand new title. I don't know.
Didn't Cena and Orton just do that?
Yeah, dude.
they just do that.
So we've got again, it's for the vacant title. Daniel Bryan sadly has been stripped of it. We've got Kane, Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, Cesaro, Roman Reigns, John Cena, Randy Orton, and Bray Wyatt.
I honestly see either Roman Reigns or Cesaro because both of them are just on a, huge push right now.
Are they ready for it though?
I honestly think Roman Reigns is because I mean he's been on such a huge push again with his Royal Rumble stats now and just the moves he can do, the Superman punch, the leaping kick from the apron,
I like that
the
move.
spear, just all those moves, and then Cesaro winning the Andre Battle Royal. And now that he's got Paul Heyman on his side, and while we may all not like Paul Heyman, you just can't not take away what Paul Heyman has to bring to the table. So,
True.
Honestly, like I said, for me, I do want to see Roman Reigns or Cesaro. Another one is, again, Bray Wyatt. He's been on this huge thing now because of just the feuds he had with Cena. Me personally, I'm not a fan of him, especially with the whole bringing the child into the scenario thing.
Creepy.
I wasn't a big fan on that one, but again, so me personally, I am going for Roman Reigns or Cesaro on this one.
Okay.
Like I said, I want the Wyatts to run the table on the pay-per-view. I don't think it'll happen. Unfortunately, if I had to bet my life on it again, I'd say Cena would probably win, unfortunately. And that's just because they're not done telling that Daniel Bryan story. He got hurt. They put so much years into the guy, and it's unfortunate that he got hurt.
Yeah.
And if they throw the belt on someone who has... these guys got heat, like Wyatt and Roman Reigns. People like them. People want them to win.
Right.
But it's nowhere near the heat that Daniel Bryan had. People were going crazy. Like the reaction at the Royal Rumble when he wasn't in the Rumble, and when he didn't win the Rumble. Like everyone said that pay-per-view was horrible, but I actually need to get it on Blu-ray because that was wrestling history right there.
Totally.
I remember watching it and I was like, Jesus, like they hate everybody. I was like, they hate this. They hate that Batista won, and it was all because Daniel Bryan. That's who they wanted. He was super over when he finally won at WrestleMania 30. He was so far over. It was so, and I understand why they wanted to save it to WrestleMania 30. They're trying to stretch it out.
Right.
And they might have stretched it out too long because it took a toll on his body.
True.
But he's gonna come back, and when he comes back, I don't think they want to put him up against a Roman Reigns, because that's not gonna work. It'd work better if he went up against Cena again, because people hate Cena.
Right.
I don't get me wrong, I hate Cena too. I've bought stuff of his just for my kid, and that's what he's there for. He's Hulk Hogan. He's
Yeah, he totally is.
and I respect him. He's awesome. He's cool. I would take his autograph because he's cool. He works so hard. He's the company. And
He's a face.
yeah, I like him for that. But no, do I enjoy seeing him in the ring? Do I want him to win? No. Because I'm older. I'm the older demographic. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
but no, I think they're not gonna put him on them. I want it to be on Wyatt. I want to see that. I would even like to see. I like everyone in the Shield. I would like to see that too. But it's just not gonna work. I don't know when Daniel Bryan's gonna come back.
Yeah.
But I could see it just working out in the future. If Cena wins, I hope he drops it to Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam.
Right, now that's a big rumor.
That would be awesome if he dropped it to Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar is set up to be champion. That's from WrestleMania.
What's there to do?
And that's the next step with him. If you're gonna keep him around, you got to make him champion. And it would just be so much cooler to see the story that they didn't finish with Daniel Bryan. They could finish it with him fighting Brock Lesnar. Like, there's this part-time champion who's a beast, who's a monster, who broke everyone's heart when he beat the Undertaker.
Yeah,
I would put Daniel Bryan right back where he was. I'd put him. He was right back there. It could put him right back to the top. Not that he's off the top, but it just kind of sucks that he didn't really get to defend his title.
Agreed.
And people are saying, oh, he couldn't have handled it anyway. He couldn't have carried it. I'm like, well, he can get a chance. You know what I mean? But
true.
no, I unfortunately, man, yeah, it's gonna go to Cena.
So you think that Cena faces Brock at SummerSlam, Brock wins the belt, and then Brock versus Bryan?
That'd be awesome. I'd love that. And even I would even settle for just Bryan versus Cena. I would settle for that, and he gets over on Cena.
Right.
I would like that too, but no, that would be the perfect scenario for me. If Lesnar wins the title, I like Brock Lesnar. It was shocking with the whole Undertaker thing, but I still like, exactly. Who wasn't exactly? But no, I like Brock Lesnar a lot. Even if he is part-time, that doesn't really bother me. I think he's still entertaining. I think he's cool, man. I think this whole ladder match, it's awesome. You're right. It's set up to be awesome. I want to see. We're gonna get a new champion, but we might not get a new champion. We're gonna get Cena again, or we're gonna get one of the veterans, just because they need to finish tying that story for Bryan. It's not finished yet. I don't think they're gonna throw away all that hard work he did. They did. I don't think they're gonna throw that all away. I think they're gonna just set it up for him to come back again. They're waiting for him to have his run.
I am praying that Cena does not win. Cena would be a 15-time world champion if he does win.
I think right now also is that they are trying to get it to see, is Cena going to be the one who breaks Ric Flair's, 16?
I think they've already decided that he will.
Well, I mean, he's the type of character too. You gotta throw the belt on him every once in a while just because he's the face.
Right.
I mean, you have to. You can throw away Kane, Sheamus, and Del Rio. They're not gonna win the match.
No way.
And I think Reigns and probably Wyatt and Cesaro, it's only a matter of time for those guys. They're gonna get their shot. I don't think it's now though. Unfortunately, I would be okay with it if it was now.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't hate Cena, but he's just for kids, and that's what he's for. And that's if you sell the most T-shirts to kids and sell the most toys to kids, I mean. And it's not because he sucks. I actually think he can wrestle. I don't know about you guys.
No, I do too. I'm with you on that.
I think he can.
Yeah, sure. I do too. So I'm not a total Cena hater. You know what I mean? But no, it's safer with him right now. Him or Orton is going to be safe with. And they're kind of like a placeholder just for Daniel, I think.
Do you think there's a chance both belts are up there? Do you think there's a chance that two different guys bring down both belts?
I didn't even think about that till you just said that now. That'd be kind of cool.
And they ununify the belts again, which I think was a mistake to begin with. In my opinion.
Honestly do agree it was a mistake.
I liked it as a launching pad when it had two of them, because when Christian had his title run, those matches with Orton, those were pretty awesome.
Really good.
Those
they were really
insane.
Good. For sure.
And just maybe because the way the company is now, people didn't really get behind Christian that much. I liked it when he was throwing fits in the ring and he was just acting like a little baby, and it got over with me, but maybe since I've watched Christian and just seen those matches, man, they were really, really, really good. They were awesome. And then when you put that, it kind of diminishes the heavyweight title a little bit, because it was kind of the underdog title. It was to give the guys a push and less. But then when I saw it on Orton, it would make it more legitimate for me.
Well, for the record, I'm going with Bray Wyatt to win the ladder match. I'm praying that it's not Cena, but I'm not going to hate it if it is Cena. You guys, I got to thank you guys for coming down. to do ring awareness. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to it. I hope you guys enjoy Money in the Bank. I look forward to hearing back from everybody. Until then, this is Adam Merrick signing off.